Okay, lovely. I watched some of your videos and I love your energy, by the way. I was so taken by you, so thank you. I'm very excited to have you as a storyteller.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so
And
much.
I wanted to tell you a little bit about kind of the evolving project that it is. So I come from a background of marketing and communications, which ultimately led to a storytelling. I finally realized what it is. And I've been practicing breath work and mindfulness to help people release trauma. And I work with charities that support children and adults that are victims of sexual abuse. And,
Mhm.
and that kind of led to going back to basics. Like breath is our basis, like our medicine in your words that you guys use quite a lot. And I really relate to that because it is a medicine. And one thing led to another. People were really disenchanted with what's happening. And I feel that a part of it is we have lost our stories. We have lost our connection to nature, to each other, to our rites of passage, all of these things that are so important all over the world.
Yeah.
And I've decided to start with a creation story and hold the wisdom and nurture it into a day-to-day life, whatever shape and form it will take. So for now, I'm just taking videos with variety of professors, storytellers like yourself, just around the world, and trying to get that universal wisdom and really touch people in various ways. So that's it. So it will be a video, there will be some written component, it will be combined with bread, so your wisdom will live for a long time.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds lovely.
So I was hoping maybe you can start by telling us about yourself, like your story, because I feel that's the best way to start with the storyteller.
Well, thanks. My name is Chantal Chagnon. I am Cree, Anishinaabe, and Métis from Muskeg Lake Cree Nation in Saskatchewan, which is in Treaty 6 territory. And I am living in Treaty 7 territory in Mohkinstsis, and I'm very thankful to live here. I have been a storyteller, well, probably all my life. I'm always telling stories, but I'm a traditional artist as well as an educator. So I call myself a teaching artist because I love to share. And I get to share traditional drumming and songs and stories in schools, which is just such a
Mm.
beautiful gift. But I also get to share it with organizations, with, like the city or government organizations, but all over the place. And not just here. I've actually shared it in a few places all over the world. So I was actually just recently in New Zealand where I shared. I've also been to Norway where I've shared. Um, and it's just really amazing to be able to travel and share and to also see those commonalities with a lot of our traditional stories and ways of thinking and ways of knowing. And so it's a beautiful thing. But
Lovely.
myself, I'm a mom. I have four children. Two are my biological children, and two I adopted right before the pandemic, because that's what you need before a pandemic, more children. I'm a single mom, and I always have been. But I'm just really thankful to, have I call them my teachers, my own kids. Like, they're not really kids anymore; they're really old. but
How old
but
are they?
my youngest is 16. My twins are the ones that I adopted, and they're 17, and my eldest is 26.
Hmm. May I ask you what that's very that's so human of you. You know, it's nowadays to be a human is almost like unheard of. But what what made you do something so honorable?
So I was actually their cultural advocate for the girls to get them out of foster care and into kinship
Mm.
care with their family. And when their placement with their grandmother fell apart, they moved in with their aunt. And when that placement fell apart, their social worker came to me and said no one in their family would take them. And so that meant they would go back into the system. And at their age, that meant they would go into group homes. And in group homes, unfortunately, they don't keep siblings together. So they would have been separated. So not only would they have, been separated from their family, but also from each other and also in a group home. And I said that wouldn't happen. So I had an extra room and I said, well, they're moving in with me. And I've always known I was going to have twins. I just didn't know how they were going to come to me. And here they are.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for thank you for sharing that. I think we sometimes forget how many people out there need help, and we always want more, and as you said, sometimes you don't know where it's gonna come from, right?
This is true. This is true.
Yeah. I couldn't have more kids. I only have one. And when I met my partner, he had two older kids, and I've always known I'm gonna have three. Similar to you, I just didn't know that they not necessarily will be biologically mine. So it's interesting how we foresee it somehow. We forefeel it.
We really do. Well, I think intuition is a huge part of, being connected to breath, to life, to our ancestors. And I think, especially as women, we have that intrinsic connection to ourselves, to our spirit, and that's what intuition is. It's the voice of our spirit that leads us. But I think in our society, we're kind of gaslit into ignoring our intuition, and then we get into issues because we ignore it, and then we're like, oh, we should have listened to it. And so it's really just embracing it, and not worrying about what other people are going to think, but just knowing that that's your path forward and not to
Mhm.
worry.
Mhm. Oh, what a great segue into the creation story. So the floor is all yours. I was hoping you can just tell us the story as you tell it to people that you go and represent Canada, maybe outside, to people that maybe never heard it, because this will go globally. Like I'm originally from Bulgaria, and I would love to give it to people to experience as well.
Sure. So let me find, I'm a hand talker, I'm a hand storyteller, so I'm trying to find a good place to like brace my phone. Is that okay? You see me okay?
Yes, I can see you. Okay.
All right, cool.
Uh,
I'm gonna try and see if I
just
can get,
stabilize it.
yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. Let me try.
Were you is storytelling like a role that's being taught or it's assigned? How does it how
Sometimes
does one
they
become?
just come through you. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to find a way to do this, but it's a little bit of an issue. And that's even worse. Man. So, let's see. Trying to be creative with the things that I have in my car. Unfortunately, I wish that I had my computer, but I don't have that this week. And I'm at a school this week. And unfortunately, the time difference doesn't make it really accessible. So, trying to find a way to prop this up. It's not working. Wait, is that working?
That is
It's gonna
stable. Yes.
hopefully. Okay, if it falls, I apologize.
We'll adjust it.
um, uh,
Oh,
oh my goodness.
I wish I could hold it on this end, but I can't.
No, well, it's kind of tricky because it's like yeah, I'm in my car, right? So there's not a lot I can really do at this point. And I'd really like to, because I'm very much a hand and I'm a body storyteller. I embody everything. And I wasn't aware that we were going to be like recording the story now. Um, so I thought we was just going to chat about it and then figure out a time. Um, is there another time? Like, when does this
Yeah,
project need?
let's do another time if you want. I prefer you to be comfortable. And it's obviously, I don't know if it's spirit or whatever it's saying is like not in this format.
Yeah, not in my car.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm totally so as long as even if it's later, that's totally okay with me as long as I have some notice so I can replenish my energy for a later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
So
You
let's
know what? I'm gonna be. Yeah, this week is just very, very busy for me, and then I have to drive for 5.5
so
hours on Friday.
it's okay. I don't want it to be how about we do you want to do next Monday? Is that a time that works for you? Is that a day?
Uh, Let me look at my calendar. No, next Monday would not work. Yeah, I just my busy.
I can even do Sunday afternoon. I know it's the weekend, but if that would be a better.
I'm going to a funeral this weekend,
Oh, I'm
so yeah, and it's 2 days. So I may have time, but I'm not
yeah, no.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'll know more when I arrive because I have to drive like it's a 5.5 hour drive to get to Saddle Lake, which is where the funeral is going to be. And then once I'm there, we're going to be in a hotel for 2 days. So when I'm in the hotel, I might actually have a little bit more time, and it's just really, yeah, we got to figure that out. But
Well, you let me
it
know.
would
I'll
be
be
good if I had.
flexible. I'll be flexible with you if it works out. We'll find the time.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have a phone number? So it's really hard for me to communicate over email.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
believe I texted you. Let me just text you back again so you know it's me.
okay, and I'll save you, and then I can text you on Saturday once I kind of figure out. Are you available on Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday I am available in the afternoon, my afternoon, which yeah, it will work whatever time for you because
Okay.
my morning is occupied and that's too early for you. And then Saturday, no, Saturday is a little more challenging. I'm
Okay.
at a Kindful
I'm just
Canada symposium, which I would like to focus on. Yes.
very cool. No, absolutely. Well, hold on. I'm just gonna look at my calendar and see if there's any other dates. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the issue is I'm like, see, November is usually really, really busy. Let's see. Coming. What about the 22nd? That's the Friday.
Unfortunately, I'm out of town until the 24th, so I leave on the 19th. Unless
Okay.
we do it from my hotel, but I would prefer not because it will be much harder for me. I don't know what's happening when I'm there, so I don't want to commit. And uh, so
I
next week
feel
I'm
that.
available. You see, it's so hard. How impossible is this? So
I
next week I
know.
have Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday I fly out, so but late, and then
Hmm.
I am back on the 25th. I'm in town in the evening. And then I'm
Okay.
back 26th, I'm here. 27th, I'm here.
What about the 27th? Would that work? Like
Yes.
maybe around the same time?
Yes. Okay. Perfect. Let me just
Oh, no, that's great. Okay. Yes, that's
27.
perfect.
That'll
Yeah.
be
So,
4:30 your time, right?
yes, that would be great. And then I should have like a nice space so that I can, share the story.
Yes. Okay. Perfect. I am putting it down right now. But nevertheless, it was lovely to meet you.
Well, nice to meet you as well. I'm sorry it didn't work out. I was just, yeah, this is one of my busier months. So it's been really difficult to try and find some time.
No, it's
Usually
okay.
it's,
I understand.
yeah, October, November, and then April, May, June are always my busiest month.
Is there a particular reason for that? Like you have events that happen during those times a lot, or
Yeah.
yeah,
So this week, today was the start of Métis Week. So Métis Week, I'm usually presenting and performing almost every night, which also means like weekends. I'm usually doing things, although I had to cancel everything for this upcoming weekend because of the funeral. But I'm also teaching in schools every single day. And usually the busiest months for schools are like
yeah.
October, November, because that's when they kind of figure out when they can get residencies in. There's not like a crunch for like report cards or anything like that. There's not the holidays, which is important. And then same with like April, May, June. It's like the end of the school year. June is National Indigenous Month. So that's always my busiest month. And then September as well is actually quite busy now. Honestly, it's a
You
school
need
year.
to
It's
rest.
busy.
You need to rest.
I do. But it's okay. It's okay. I love what I do. And so I appreciate the fact that I can share my culture and my teachings because I think about even 20 years ago, we weren't even allowed to talk about things. So it's a
In
gift.
what sense you say we weren't even allowed? Like they were literally
Oh,
not allowing you to speak about
yes.
your story?
So unfortunately, like 25 years ago, even it was illegal to talk about our culture, to share our stories, to share our songs, even to like learn our languages, to wear regalia in public. It was really frowned upon or shunned, or in some cases, like we got ostracized because of it. Now we've started to come to a place where we're reclaiming our culture and our teachings, and we're trying to break through like this whole truth and reconciliation push is very important because it's about, reclaiming our culture, reclaiming, who we are as Indigenous people. But also, it's really about, laying a good foundation for our future
Mhm.
generations by healing the wounds of our past. Um, like the last residential school closed in
Yeah.
1996. And so up until that time, like our basically we're just based trying to like erase our culture. It's cultural genocide
Oh
and
yeah,
physical
yeah.
genocide.
Yeah,
A lot
no,
of
it
people
is.
who actually die and continue to, because there's like a disproportionate amount of Indigenous people incarcerated or in the foster care system, which is why I have my girls. But every system, we're misrepresented. So we're only 4% of the population, but we're 62% of the incarcerated population, which is doesn't make any sense for 4% of the population of Canada. In the foster care system, there's like 57% of the kids, and actually I think it's more now. It's like almost 60% of the population of the kids are all Indigenous. But we also get less funding for Indigenous children in care, which is weird. But Cindy Blackstock has been really fighting to, give children what they deserve, what they're worth, and also to address the problems that stem from, intergenerational trauma, but also colonization
Hmm.
and how we are basically racially profiled as bad parents, or as criminals. And we're breaking the cycles of that, which is so important. And we're doing that by reclaiming culture, by reclaiming our stories, by
Hmm.
reclaiming our songs, and reclaiming some of our traditional child rearing and bearing practices.
Yeah, yeah, and I really want to I want to say and tell the story in a respectful way because it will be with other stories. So maybe you can guide me in that sense because I know that a lot of the creation stories they have their own flavor and their own beauty. So I want to make sure that we are representative of everyone. I know it's hard when we're pulling stories from all over the world, different periods, different cultures. So I really want to try my best to be respectful. So if I do or say something that's not aligned, please correct me because it's not because of not wanting. It's I'm a settler from Bulgaria, and when I came to Canada, we are very connected to our land. Like we are one of the oldest nations in Europe, and we were colonized for 500 years by the Ottoman Empire, which ended in 1878. And people
Mm-hmm.
are still carrying that trauma. The country is it has trauma all over it. People cannot get over it. We were under communism for 50 years. So it was this continuous re-traumatization, like our culture was gone, our customs are diminishing, our language is becoming English now. So it took me a while and then it hit me and I'm like, oh my God, I relate to this. I relate because it was taken away. So I think a lot of people don't even know that. When I go in Europe and I teach and I start telling them about Canada, about the residential schools, people open their eyes like that. They're like, but Canada are the good guys. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Oh, I mean, you look at the residential school system, I mean, that was implemented around the world as an act of colonization for all Indigenous people. That's like why they have the reservation system. It's the same. It was based on what happened in Canada and how they're trying to like force people on their land not to come off. We had to like get permission to leave our land. The only way we could leave our land legally was to work or to entertain people or to join the military. But then if we joined the military, we'd lose our status. And yeah, but that's a whole nother ball of
Oh
wax.
my
But
God.
the Indian Act, which was implemented by Canada, has actually been used around the world as an act of legalized genocide. So it was used in Rwanda. The Dutch brought it into Rwanda so they would be able to kind of finagle things. It was used during the apartheid in South Africa. It's been trying, well, they've been trying to use it in Brazil and Colombia to basically legalize the genocide of Indigenous people. And this is our legacy as Canadians to the world. It's like, here's your go, legalize genocide. So it's awful. It's really, really awful.
Oh my gosh.
But this is why it's so important for Indigenous people here to stand up and say, no, we stand with all people in the
Yeah.
world that are Indigenous, connected to
And I
their
have to
lands.
say, I really honor the wisdom that all Indigenous people carry for the land in terms of preserving our land, preserving our drinking water to be safe. Because I think people have lost their minds. They have no connection, and it's there. Everything is allowed nowadays. Oh yeah, put
Mm-hmm.
dye and in the food, kill my kids, do this, and I'm like, why? Why are we allowing this? Um, because there's no connection.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. It's a disconnect. So when you're so disconnected from the earth, you're disconnected from yourself. And if your mind and your heart and your body and your spirit aren't connected, nothing's going to make sense. And
Y-
so people are going to be able to manipulate you. And social media is one of those things that
mm,
makes it so easy to manipulate people, advertisement, things like that. And it's heartbreaking to see how people are so blind to the past, because if you look back in the past, this has happened before, and it's just
mhm.
expediting, happening again and again and again. It's just now it's affecting everyone globally.
Yeah, I in Bulgaria there's a lot of Roman ruins because the Romans they overtook Thrace and obviously us. So people now the ruins are an attraction, and they've always been an attraction. I always enjoyed seeing some of the amphitheaters, but this year when I went back and I was looking at them, like they were colonizers, and now not only they have come, they colonized, they killed, they chased us, and now we are worshiping their buildings and have built all these attractions around this. I was very conflicted with, I think because we don't know how to deal with the trauma. We don't know how, like globally, not just here. So very interesting work. Anyways, I don't want to take more of your time, uh, but thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and knowledge on that because I honestly think people don't know.
No, well, they don't.
Yeah,
But slowly but surely those truths are coming out, because that's the whole point of truth and
yeah.
reconciliation, is it's with truth
Yeah,
before you can laugh.
whatever I can do in my small limited powers. I read, I don't know if you heard of that book, Columbus and Other Cannibals. Yeah, and I was reading it and it's very hard to digest for even for an outsider, obviously. And I think there's so much to that trauma that people don't realize. They don't realize the pervasive effect, how it spreads, how it really disillusions people.
Well, and not only that, but it pits people against each other, because it's a
Yes.
whole crab in the bucket thing, not realizing that, there's somebody else who's holding the bucket. And to see the amount of like lateral violence as people are destroying each other from the
Mhm.
inside out, it's
Mhm.
heartbreaking. Even with something as simple as politics, you can see those divisions and how it's just diverting us from the actual issue at hand, which is these people who are destroying the world at our cost. Yeah, yeah, it breaks my heart, because I'm seeing people who were like, been friends for like 20, 30, 40 years, just not talking to each other anymore because of an election. And I'm like, I'm sorry, they don't give a shit about you. Why are you allowing them to destroy your lives? Sorry, didn't mean to swear.
Yeah,
But
it's okay. It's okay. Off record.
it's true. Yeah, it hurts. It
What do
hurts
you
to
think? What do you
see.
think the key to because this is not we now know it's not an isolated issue. We know it's global.
Yeah.
What what is that you see as making the needle move in a more sustainable and connected future?
Either get rid of social media entirely, or bring it back to a place of moderation. Because right now it's just people will click on extreme views, and that's separating us from each other, which is separating us from the earth.
You're the second person who tells me that this week.
Well,
I did
somebody just
I did a little bit of ads on mine for some event, and I advocate for victims of sexual abuse and having been a survivor myself. And I got so many pervs. So I don't know how the algorithm works. I'm like, how can you send these types of people to some like my content, you know what I like, all the content is there, the algorithm reads it, yet you sent this type of people to my profile.
Mhm.
So it just made me think, we know I'm obviously in media and communications, I know how it works, but I started realizing, so what is it really targeting? What is how is it really working if it's sending
Mhm.
perpetrators essentially to someone who is openly talking about the issue? So what is it sending to
Yeah,
kids, right?
exactly. Well, I mean, I think there's so much like people are getting off on the hurt, right? It's like trauma porn, right? That's pretty much what it
Mm,
is. It's like people want to see your pain, people want to see your hurt. They just want to watch from a distance. They don't want to help. And this is why a lot of people who are, predatory, they'll come when they see something like that, because they're like, "Ooh, I want to watch," and it's gross. It's like we have this disgusting voyeurism and this detachment from our humanity, and a
mm-hmm,
lot of that is having to do with social media, because, you're arguing with people, but you don't feel like it's real because you're not
mm-hmm,
face to face. You can
mm-hmm,
shut off your computer and walk away. after causing damage. It's like, throwing a grenade into a mall and walking away. You're going to damage so many people, but it's like it's behind you, so you don't see it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all
Well, it also the keyboard activism, right? Everybody's so big on words behind the keyboard, yet when it comes to actually coming, doing the work, setting time aside, working with yourself and being patient with others and understanding, I'm out. I'm too busy.
exactly. Yeah. And everybody's busy. And that's the thing. Like we feel like, we're going a million miles a minute. And that's because we have so many distractions that we're not actually taking the time to focus on what needs to be changed. We're
Mhm.
so busy, putting our 2 cents in, but not actually doing the work.
Yeah, yeah. I had to take 2 months off. That's why I'm managing my energy because I had a burnout 5 years ago and I've learned a lot from it, my biggest teacher, as I say. And I caught myself going into the same cycle, just being too busy, running, running, running on empty. And I said, no, I have to respect my energy because if I'm gone, nobody benefits, like, and at the end of the day, those people I said they don't care. I have to look after myself. We have to put the mask first. So yeah, I don't know how do we take social
I
media
say that all
down,
the
but one story at a time. Thank you, Chantal. Sorry, that's a very I'm
time.
very passionate about this topic because I see how many youths um right now are having problems and just that technology addiction and they're medicated and I really have a hard time with this reality.
I feel that completely for sure. Well, when my girls first moved in with me, they were on so much medication, they're almost like zombies. And I was like, okay, well, this ends. It was during COVID, so I was like, let's just take everything out and we'll see what happens. And so we removed all, like, they were almost on like horse tranquilizing doses of this stuff. It was brutal. And I was like, how could you put a child on this much stuff? And it was because in the system, you want them to be, not heard nor seen, really. And then when they moved in with me, I was like, no, I want to hear your voice. I want to see who you are. I want you to be your own being and your own person. And you can't do that with this amount of medication. And once we like removed all those medications, one of the girls, she's fine. She doesn't need medication anymore. And then the other one takes a little bit of Ivant for her ADHD because it really helps her to focus. But like, it's like a minimal amount. Whereas before she was on so many medications and I was like, this ends now. This is not healthy and it's not going to help you. So
How long
let's
did it
figure this
take
stuff.
you to because my stepdaughter was we had the same problem, but she stopped herself, which I'm so
Mhm.
proud of her. So she was on the medications for 4 months. I think it took her total of six to fully like have the symptoms out, feel herself, start feeling the balance back in her body. How long did it take you or her rather to feel normal?
Well, I think sometimes they don't feel normal. um,
Well,
some of the medication that they were on, like it was literally like sleeping pills, but like really large amounts, which was crazy to me. And I'm like, okay, well, this is stopping. And as soon as we stopped that, it's like their sleeping patterns were all over the place. But luckily, it was during COVID, so we could do whatever we wanted as long as they, hit a couple of the classes online. It was perfect. And most of their stuff was just like work that they could do online. So it took them almost a year to completely like get because they were on it for so long since like they were toddlers up, which is gross. But yeah, it took them a while to like regulate their bodies and to like they were sick, like physically ill because it was well as withdrawal.
yeah.
You're on drugs. Um, but it was really incredible to see the difference and just how their faces weren't sallow anymore. They were eating, they were, healthy, they were going for walks, they were, connecting to each other and to land and to me. And it was great. It was
Mm.
amazing to see it. And just to see just the change in them. And I think unfortunately our society just wants to fix everything. They think like a pill is going to fix everything, but it's not. What's actually going to fix things is like that connection to each other and that connection to spirit. And I like reading like science and different things that they've done to kind of understand where like addictions and things like that come from. And they actually did a study with rats, and they gave rats like drugs. I think it was cocaine or meth or something, in a water bottle. And they would drink and drink and drink until they were like, just die, like they would just like drink to the point of overdose. But then they changed it. So they created community with rats. So they had like multiple rats and so many different kinds of food and like lots of things to keep them entertained. And they felt comfortable and safe. They weren't just in a stark cage. And then of all the rats who were like in this like rat utopia, the drugs were still there. They were still available. And of all the rats that had, had been exposed to these drugs before, they barely went over and drank them. And then sometimes they did, but then they would walk away from it and then they would just go socialize with other rats. But that's what the cure for addiction is. It's community.
Community, absolutely. Absolutely. And this keeps coming up in every single conversation I have with people lately. I see it in breathwork when people come for a group class and we go around and we do a sharing at the end. When somebody is vulnerable, that empowers everybody in the room. Even when you come and you're shy and you wall, when you hear somebody else and it's authentic because you've had the joint experience, it truly does wonders for people.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, so we are taking down social media and building communities. I think that's the key.
Yeah, I would say, maybe an EMP would be a good thing. But
Thank
to take down social media, so we actually have to start talking face to face.
I know, and I see it. I have a lot of people that come to breathwork, and some of them share their problems with finding a partner. And where we come down to is again technology. Technology becoming that intermediary between people and teaching you swipe left, right, reducing people to a profile and making you more judgmental. Like all of these things now are transferred into relationships, and people are
Mhm.
suffering on both sides. They're suffering.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been single forever, but it's just because there's no depth to the conversations that I'm having, and I'm like, I can't not have deep conversations. I can't, just let somebody do nothing. I'm the kind of person. I'm like, I want to see the change in the world. I want to be that change, and I
Hmm.
want to help other people on their path forward. But it's almost like a shallowness or something like shadow people. People are
Yeah.
walking around in these mazes or shadows without any sort of depth to them. And it's heartbreaking because you're like, well, there's so much more to the world if we just saw it for what it was and we actually started to help each other out. Because we are communal creatures. We can't just sit at home on our computer thinking we're talking to someone who knows we might just be talking to a bot. And,
They in trance.
and that's just Uncanny Valley in of itself.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just feel people are in trance. That's the ultimate
It
conclusion.
is.
Yeah. It's, it's
A
the
friend of mine, we're talking about zombie movies, and we're like, yeah, zombie movies are real. It's just people with their phones in front of their faces.
yeah, yeah. Just the Matrix, the Matrix is because sometimes I use pop culture because people relate to the characters and the heroes. So Matrix is becoming very popular nowadays
I
because
think so. I think so.
I'm like, yeah, he betrayed him. He knew that the steak is fake, but he ate it anyway. So, oh well, we're here for a reason. So we all have our role and gifts to give.
I think
Chantal, thank you so much. It was absolute pleasure to. Now this is a bye because I said that 3 times.
so. Sure.
But
You get on good conversations with
you're
good
very
people. It's hard to
cool.
stop.
You're very cool. I like you. Okay, giving you back your day. I will see you on the 27th. I'll send the invite and I absolutely look forward to your story.
Awesome. That's perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.